This Ro-Flo maintenance video demonstrates a double bellows mechanical seal disassembly, inspection, and replacement. The shaft seal is removed by sliding it off the end of the shaft. It is important to hand dress, deburr, and clean the shaft prior to beginning. For this demonstration, the seal's lubrication lines have already been removed. With the lubrication inlet line disconnected, most of the oil should be drained from the reservoir. The outermost piece of the seal assembly is the seal cage. The cage acts as the seal housing and oil reservoir during operation. Remove the bolts holding the seal cage in place. Then slide the cage over the end of the shaft. Note that one of the seal's mating rings is positioned in the seal cage, and care should be taken when removing the cage. The condition of the outboard carbon ring can be inspected for atypical wear, contamination, or discoloration, which are all indicators of improper operation. The rubber bellows swell from the lubricant. This swelling holds the seal tightly in place. A significant amount of force may be necessary to remove both the inboard and outboard bellows. Both the inboard and outboard mating rings are held in place with an O-ring on the outside diameter. Some force will be necessary to remove them. On some models, the seal adapter may have to be removed in order to access the inboard mating ring. To remove the seal adapter, remove the bolts and use a flat tool to gently pry the adapter away from the head. The seal adapter has an O-ring which may require minimal force to remove. Hold the seal adapter when removing so it does not fall when the O-ring suddenly releases. A small amount of oil is expected to leak out when removing the adapter. Note, the seal adapter O-ring should be replaced prior to reassembling. To install a new double bellows shaft seal, position the inboard mating ring into the seal adapter. The O-ring on the OD of the mating ring should be lubricated with oil before being slid onto the shaft and into position. The polished surface should face outward toward the carbon ring. The anti-rotation slot should be inward. Next, lubricate the inboard bellows with oil. The inboard half of the seal can now be slid onto the shaft, carbon first, up to the inboard mating ring. The spring follows. Lubricate the outboard bellows and carbon ring, just as you did on the inboard side. Then slide the outboard half of the seal onto the shaft, carbon facing outward, and into the spring. To remove the outboard mating ring from the seal cage, place the cage flange down and push out. Lightly lubricate the O-ring on the new outboard mating ring and position it into the seal cage. Polished surface up. Slide the seal cage over the shaft and up to the seal adapter. The cage will be compressing the spring and will have to be held in place while the bolts are being installed. Regular routine maintenance of your Ro-Flo compressor will keep it operating smoothly for years to come.